watched their game yesterday that they had versus Charlotte. Then I watched a lot of film this morning, and just try to get accustomed to a lot of the sets that they run, so I can keep my guys prepared, keep them a little bit ahead of the play. Just being very knowledgeable about some of the sets that they like to run, some of the ATOs, some of the things they like to run the half court, things of that nature, just to have my guys keeping their head on the swivel and not get surprised by anything.
Yeah, the defense speaks for itself with the points allowed in the first half. Offensively, it was a different profile from the Bucks game, threes and paint points. How much of that is what the defense is given? How much of that is a focus from the way you're playing?
Every game has its own challenges, and every game is its own. You got to win that game. So tonight was an opportunity for us to get better. And AD came out from the start. Being a hometown kid, him and Taylor. It was our job to help them get the ball to them, and let them make plays in AD, and they both did that.
Bill?
Hey, LeBron. Tuesday will be a year since the accident, and I'm wondering, you were in a really tough spot as the leader of this team going through that, and kind of the face of the organization going through that. I'm wondering how you feel like going through that as the leader of this team changed your relationship with the city of Los Angeles and with the organization.
I try not to put myself back in that headspace, because it was just too dark for not only myself, but for organization and for everyone that's involved in it. As the leader of the ball club, it was my job and my responsibility to take it all on, and represent our team with the most strength that I could, prosper at that point in time. For the purple and gold, for Laker Nation, it was my job to take that responsibility. And I wanted to let everyone know inside this organization that I was okay with doing that, that's all I can say about that.
Dave?
LeBron, Anthony called himself out after the last game you guys had, even though you won. And he said he wasn't playing well as of late. I'm curious, is that part of the accountability that you guys speak about as what you want to have in that locker room, him acknowledging that he wants more from him? And did you put your arm around a guy like that? Do you try to help him going through whatever the funk he claims it to be?
Absolutely, both. One, sometimes you allow a guy to kind of, go through it and figure it out for themselves, but also at the same time, let him know that we're here for him. And me as the leader of the squad, and me as his brother, let him know whatever he needs from me, I can do. And it started with us, getting on the ball early and often, tonight, and and it's just right back on track.
Kyle?
Hey, LeBron. One of the common threads between you and Kobe is how much you both love Michael Jordan. And I'm wondering, as when Kobe was coming up, he was very famous for kind of replicating Mike and doing those moves. As either a teenager or a young guy in the league, was that something that you sort of had an appreciation for and gave you any kind of respect factor for Kobe?
I only looked at Kobe for him. Obviously you've seen a lot of the similarities between, him and Mike, but I appreciate Kobe's game for Kobe's game. The way he played the game, the finesse that he played with, the ball handling capabilities, the shooting, everything that he possessed on the floor. I respected him for who he was as a player, and what he was able to bring out on the floor. The fact that he was able to, take some things from MJ and look at some of MJ's DNA and actually be able to do it. A lot of people try to do that. A lot of people wish they can take things from some of the greats and implement it into their game and then become successful. They just can't. They don't have the ability to do it, or they don't have the drive to do it. They don't have the mindset to do it, but he actually did it, and did it at a high level for a long time. And, you can respect that.
Last question, Dan.
LeBron, I appreciate you and your willingness to talk a little bit about some of this stuff. You guys talk about Kobe. You do it when you break huddles. You did it last year when you wore the Mamba jerseys. You guys have celebrated him in the year. How did that help the grieving process? And And why is it important to continue to do that as a team?
Man, it's a saying that says time heals all, and as devastating and as tragic as it was and it still is to all of us involved with it. Only time, and it takes time. Everyone has their own grieving process. Everyone understands how, everyone individually is different, and everyone is going to, grieve differently, and how long it takes them to come to grips with it, that's up to them and that individual. All you can do as a friend or a loved one or anyone, in our
was we want to have a growth mindset, and we know we have to improve with our paint defense, our transition defense, and our assertiveness offensively. And we didn't shoot the ball that well offensively from the perimeter, but when you can get to the rim, that's always the first option. And I like the way we attack the paint offensively. And obviously the defense in the first half was maybe as good as we've been all year. I think we took 6 charges, and just an exceptional commitment to all of our coverages and the paint first mindset.
You were asked about AD's offensive rhythm before the game, and you said that wasn't exactly a concern of yours. He comes out super efficient tonight, 37, 11 points in the paint. I suppose that's what you were, I don't want to say expecting, but can you describe how that occurred in this case?
Yeah, I mean, he just, we want to make sure we're playing through him as much as possible. And, we got a lot of new guys on this team, so there's been times early in the season where myself and even AD has been, trying to get other guys comfortable. And, we knew this week, the beginning of this trip was a time to really start, having him be more assertive. And, he didn't have a great night against Milwaukee, but the mindset was there. And, tonight, obviously he was dominant, with how he was playing. So, like I said, we're not something we're worried about, just something, you balance trying to get everybody going throughout the course of a long season. And, he was great tonight.
Kyle? Hey, Frank. I'm sure after tonight, you guys are still the number 1 defense in the NBA, and obviously the record speaks for itself. How much of that do you think is a reflection of AD's sort of perfectionism and drive, not only to improve himself but the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's 2 pieces of what you're talking about with AD. One, what he does personally on the court and the pride that he takes, but the like you said, the perfectionist part of him, wanting to be great on that side of the ball. When your 2 captains are really bought into being great on the defensive end, the rest of the group follows, and we have a lot of defensive talent. So, if we're working together and we're connected and playing with a locked-in mindset like we saw in the first half, we're very, very difficult to score against. And with the firepower that we have offensively, we'd be tough to beat. So we got to continue with that defensive commitment.
Dave?
Frank, before the game, you said that probably the top line of the scouting report is opposing teams trying to take away your transition opportunities. Is line number 2 your 3-point shooting? You guys didn't shoot it all that well tonight, coming off a really strong game in Milwaukee. Was there anything schematic or pressure-wise that Chicago was doing that led to that 4 for 19 showing?
I don't think it was necessarily. I mean, Chicago played good defense. I don't think they were trying to take away our threes. They're a paint first type of defense, but their starting center was out, so they played a lot of small lineups. They started a young player at center in Gafford, and I think they were just a little bit undermanned in terms of trying to stop us at the paint. So we were able to attack, and we'll take threes when they're high quality. When the paint's taken away, we punish them with backside threes, and we didn't really need that as much tonight with the way we were attacking the paint.
More to come on Access. Anthony Davis and the Lakers are 9-0 on the road. Best road record to start the season. We'll be right back with more after the break.
At BMW, we didn't make just one SAV, we made the ultimate range of SAVs.